Previously on Halo 2.
What the fuck?
This time on Halo 2.
Chief?
Chief had passed out during the slipspace jump, instantly grateful he wasn't back on Earth having to deal with sniper jackals.
That is another Halo.
Chief wanted to go back to Earth and deal with sniper jackals. Not another fucking Halo ring. Chief recalled his previous adventures and tribulations on the first Halo, back when his armor was extremely resilient, when he could best the likes of the Covenant and Flood simultaneously. Now he couldn't kill a single fucking elite without the need to hide, or get past an alley full of sniper jackals without failing a million times. Chief started to panic at the thought of being stuck on a Halo ring with a bunch of Covenant once again, immortal or not, before he was given the chance to tell Miranda Keyes her plan of trying to get just a handful of... Miranda Keyes deployed Chief and 10 other ODSTs onto the Halo ring's surface, and as half of them suddenly vanished, the 6 drop pods descended on the Covenant. A grunt took its place on a turret that shot faster and did less damage than a plasma rifle, attempting to gun down the 5 pods, with one of them landing long before the others did, and 2 others already having kicked their exits down. With that, Miranda Keyes' plan of deploying 11 drop pods to land 1 Chief and 2 random ODSTs was complete. Absolute fucking genius strategy. Upon landing, Chief formed his plan. Step 1. Get a battle rifle. Ooh, thank you. Step 2. Neutralize those turrets easily because I definitely didn't play this game a billion times as a kid and know their locations like the back of my hand. Step 3. Get a plasma pistol. Step 4. Survive. He breezed through the first 3 steps quite easily, but the 4th would be the most difficult. As long as he kept his distance and cautiously eliminate... You've got to be fucking kidding me. Chief thought he finished them off on Earth, or the Covenant would abandon the idea of using them completely after seeing from at least their view, Chief best them in a single go. But no, there were more fucking sniper jackals on this Halo ring. Step 1. Get a battle rifle. He was going to die anyway, don't fucking judge me. Step 2. Neutralize the turrets. Step 3. Get a plasma pistol. Step 4. Survive the sniper jackal.
Well met.
Danger on way.
This last task proved to be quite daunting, but Chief had infinite tries on his side. Going through the steps as many times as he needed, he finally put a few bullets between that bastard's eyes and continued onward. Utilizing the power of the high ground, Chief eliminated incoming Covenant forces until Keyes blessed him with a warthog! And once again, no Sergeant Johnson! For an invincible bastard, he sure avoided combat like a spineless little bitch. Attempting to suppress his spite, Chief was promptly given yet another reason to be infuriated at the forces that govern this universe. For not only was he given a warthog instead of a scorpion tank or a meat shield, but he was also met with a formation of sniper jackals eager to fuck Chief's extremely resilient armor right in its power supply. With his patience already dwindling, Chief sacrificed himself several times to get past these gopey little shits, and met an onslaught of the universe's most useless tank on the far side. That didn't count. That didn't fucking count. Delete that! Hey, buddy, give me your sniper rifle. No, give me your sniper rifle. Give me your sniper rifle. Give me the damn... I said give me the fucking sniper rifle! Thank you. With the turrets gone, Chief knew he had 2 solutions to the annoying-ass ghosts roaming around. He could either call the Ghostbusters, or put his life on the line to hijack the vehicles and gun down their pilots, unwilling to take the time to chase these elusive fuckers. Chief chose the latter, showing these elites the true power of his extremely resilient Mark 6 powered assault armor by being unable to kill them after kicking them square in the face once their shields were down. Hey, that's my move, you little Lowering the bridge, Chief watched two of the world's most inaccurate tanks fail to hit even a single shot against a 30-meter flying object that slowly descended and made no horizontal movements or efforts to dodge their attacks. Gleefully, Chief hopped in the tank, eager to slaughter some Covenant bastards in his new ride. Now he wasn't so mad about Miranda Keyes giving him just a warthog. Casually strolling across the bridge, Chief obliterated the two most blind Wraith pilots in all of the Covenants. That doesn't fucking count, put that away. Armada. And just like the bridge sequence back in New Mombasa, Chief didn't die once during this tank sequence. Motherfucker! Why are those two Wraiths just sitting there making out? Through his journey in the not-so-invincible tank, Chief discovered that the Covenant's genius battle tactic for handling a 35-ton killing machine with infinite ammo that you bet your ass I held down the entire fucking way through was to send in a single ghost at a time, perhaps hoping that Chief would be as blind and moronic as their turret pilots and their inability to recognize a clear and present threat unless it just so happens to stumble in their nearsighted vision radius. Regretfully leaving his tank, Chief continued onward through more Covenant forces, with the newest batch of Marines eager to meet their deaths in tow.
And reconciliation. The prophets promised to find the means of the Forerunner's transcendence, and to share this knowledge with the elites. The elites promised to defend the prophets as they searched. A simple arrangement that has become our binding covenant.
Transcendence, huh? More like mass suicide.
I've played through this more times than I can remember, and that's the first I've ever heard that dialogue exchange.
Glad you're here, sir!
Assassinating a sniper jackal, Chief knew they were like roaches. If there was one, then there were certainly more in the midst. And how right he was. But it wasn't just sniper jackals. Chief soon found himself in an unfortunate position of having several jackals aimed at his respawn point moments after a pestilence of drones descended upon his location, ready to jizz on his shields and health with their meager plasma pistols that seemed to kill him faster than they would kill ordinary Marines. But hey, they're all shieldless cannon fodder. How hard could they be? Jesus fucking Christ! Chief had no idea what sick bastard was pulling the strings, but for some goddamn reason, the circumstances of his respawn point created a less than ideal scenario. The drones died fast enough to sniper shots, but I'm not the best sniper in the world, so leave me alone. And then there was still the problem of the sniper jackals. And then there were more drones after those sniper jackals. And unlike his encounter with them on Cairo and Earth, there wasn't ample room for finding cover. After what felt like an endless amount of respawns, which turns out was just 10 minutes of my life wasted, Chief ventured forth onto a bridge that felt like it was the entrance to a boss's room. And how right he was. Chief was met with the terrifying, godlike strength of two stupidly dressed elites.
Wait, go back. That's what I thought he said. The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
I shall light this holy ring, release its cleansing flame, and burn a path into the divine beyond.
Pretty much.
Suddenly, the Covenant's less than ideal self-awareness and object permanence was starting to make a little more sense.
I'll secure the index tube. You take out the Prophet.
Yeah, good idea, Keyes. Take yourself and a bunch of other Marines that'll likely die in 10 seconds to secure the index. Maybe if you're lucky, Sergeant Johnson might get his bitch ass out from a Pelican and join you in the fight so he can go grab it himself after you're all dead. That's totally what Chief would think. Chief then found himself in quite the kerfuffle, as his previously wielded weapons were miraculously replaced with a beam rifle and a useless SMG. Before he had a chance to even contemplate how the fuck this was possible, he was interrupted by an attacking Covenant force that wasted no time in killing the crippled Chief, who, need I remind you, is really bad with a sniper rifle. Stop fucking judging me. Without his greatest tools at his disposal, Chief cowered in a corner and slowly fought his way through.
Hey, alien, why don't you turn down the sub? Lost track of it.
Chief once again came into contact with sniper jackals, and at this point, he was so emotionally dead, he couldn't even react in a way that resembled a human being upset. Fucking shit. Though with each passing wave of Covenant forces, Chief began to notice some strange behavior. Covenant wouldn't make any attempt to pursue him, obviously hiding in cover. They would fire non-stop at his last seen position, and would often not begin attacking him until he reached a certain point. It was almost as if they were machines. It was weird coming from a guy with an AI in his head, but the Covenant started to resemble living beings less by the minute, and more like a programmed set of forces intentionally placed in his path to bar his progress or test his skills. Something like that. Why are my Halo runs so fucking cursed? Hey, you got any plasma pistols for me on that Pelican? No? Then fuck off. Hey you two, welcome to the party. If you promise to not talk too much like the last guy, I promise you'll live. Except you. You're a fucking moron.
I'm sorry. Were you trying to kill something?
There's nobody here, Cortana. Using the gondola, Chief bested more Covenant forces and—
We did it, amigos!
Hey. Listen. You're pushing your luck.
Don't get any easier than that.
Warned you. Reaching the other side, Chief cleared out a surprisingly ill-defended outpost before being joined by a group of more Marines. I think you know what's going to happen to them. Die. 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 Fucking die! Die! Thank you. What followed next was unfortunate circumstances for Chief. What started out as your typical run-of-the-mill skirmish quickly devolved into a nightmarish hellhole of sniper jackals surrounding him at every corner, his respawn point inches from one's line of sight, with two more across the corridor, another awaiting him below, several drones around the corner, and elites ready to spawn in and fuck him in the ass. Every breath you take, every move you make, every motion. There's fucking hunters too? What maniacal sociopath designed this? Wait, I can skip it? I can skip it! Ah! Don't look back! Don't look back! Don't look back! After enduring a darkened, hellish pit of some of the worst foes imaginable, the gameplay oftentimes resembling a horror game due to the low lighting and constant jump scares of Covenant, Chief pussied out and ran through, sitting there, sobbing in the elevator, as Cortana continued to completely ignore his feelings and focus on the mission. Chief hoped he would never experience that sort of hell again, and continued onwards.
Punch! I see one.
Jesus fuck, there's more of them. Worse yet, they seemed surprised to see Chief. Why was it that the Covenant had no clue he was approaching? Like, how the fuck could Cortana, a singular AI in a Halo Ring sewer system, manage to intercept a message between their most important religious figures, while foot soldiers couldn't communicate the fact that Chief was on his way? Where the fuck did his body go? Hopping on another gondola and smiling with glee as his useless Marine was left behind to the Covenant's mercy, Chief crossed to his final destination. And I have one question for all of you. Who would win? The world's most useless turrets or the world's weakest super soldier? Me. I would win. After being blinded by the light, Chief looked up and saw the largest Covenant fleet anyone had ever seen, and didn't dare to imagine how many sniper jackals were aboard those vessels and that giant jellyfish in the sky. It was time to see his mission through. Kill the Prophet of Regret. How hard could it be? I think I spoke too soon. Surprisingly, Chief went through that pretty easily, and finally met face to face across the room due to social distancing with the Prophet of Regret. Firing some warning shots at him, Regret seemed unfazed. Disappointing but unsurprising, Chief decided to hit him with a quick plasma pistol discharge, and nothing happened. The fuck was this? Chief decided to close the gap between them, and through several unfortunate respawns, Chief discovered the only way to kill Regret seemed to be punching him with the force equivalent to a screeching 5-year-old pounding away at his dad's beer belly with "I hate you" stuck on repeat. God fucking damn it. To top it all off, every time Regret had his fill of Spartan punches, more honor guards flooded out of the woodworks to fight Chief one at a time. A genius tactic, reminiscent of how the Covenant planned to stop Chief in a Scorpion tank by sending one ghost at a time. I'm not gonna lie though, I was actually having a lot of fun trying not to die to this boss. I don't know, maybe these runs are turning me into a masochist-like arbiter. After what felt like a million punches of titanium to an aging alien's face, Master Chief finally pulled through. Yes! I did it! He's fucking dead!
The Phantoms are turning around. The fleet is preparing to fire on our position. We need to get out of here.
6.5 hours later.
Ignoring Cortana's warning for one too many minutes, Chief exited the temple, only to be met with a Covenant capital ship firing on his position. Chief ran as fast as his legs could take him, which oddly resembled a middle-aged man going out for his 6 a.m. run than a super soldier sprinting for his life. Unfortunately, Chief was backed into a corner and plummeted to what he presumed to be his death. Wait,